I can do that in a little bit. One of the sole reasons that we're here is because this was filmed. This would have kept going had we not seen the tape. This would have kept going had Darnella Frazier not put out the video of Derek Chauvin kneeling on George Floyd's neck for over 9 minutes, murdering him. And then we have to go into a tailspin of people trying to victim blame George Floyd and say, no, they didn't do that. It is bewildering that Jake Frey would be aligned with Donald Trump in this consent decree, where Donald Trump in the same breath would award Ashley Babbitt $5 million for invading the U.S. Capitol, being shot by a U.S. Capitol police officer, and then at the same time tried to end a federal consent decree on the Minneapolis Police Department because of their mediocre, below mediocre, awful treatment of Native and Black community members. And it's not just because they do it. It's because it was caught on film and then everybody had to talk about it. And that is the cultural practice that Frey engages in Minnesota. He doesn't rely upon you being subjective or objective. He relies upon you being dismissive. So when the reports come out from KSTP and Fox News that the consent decree is going well, that they're following the rules, it bewilders me because many of those goals, it says behavioral health response and crisis intervention training requires further improvement. Revisions to policies and standard operating procedures for misconduct investigations are still in progress. OPCR capacity increased during the review period. And I would defer to Michelle on that. I wonder if that means because they're adding more retired officers or current officers to the OPCR to overlook their own people. MPD and the city have not yet begun to actively coordinate with the IE team to provide status on the goal. However, based on the overall timeline of the goal and the IE team's observations regarding capacity for MPD, the city to achieve the goal, they remain on track to completing the goal before the target date. On track, still in progress, getting there. That's how we got here. We got here based on a lie, based on the dismissiveness. And when you're dealing with the mayor that is willing to kowtow to neighborhoods and protect their comfort and fragility before he would do that for Black communities, you have to wonder why this keeps on going on. And is it because we sit here and laugh at him dancing at another Juneteenth celebration, the same communities that he under-resources? Black communities are not under-policed, they are under-resourced. And if you're telling me that the MPD has achieved some kind of goal by checking off boxes on a consent decree, talk to the Black and Native communities. How come we are not addressing that, but we're talking about boxes that they're checking off? If the MPD is so interested in holding a high standard, why are they hiring Tyler Timberlake and then lying about it? Do you know who Tyler Timberlake is? He's a white police officer from another state that kneeled on a Black man's neck, got caught up in all sorts of judicial problems, was let go or exited by himself, had a civil lawsuit on his hands, but we'll take him here. We'll take him here. Charlie Storley, an MPD officer, shot a Black kid in the back in the 90s. He then unloaded a submachine gun on his own fellow officer. Do we know? Settled for $4.5 million with the MPD and then killed himself 2 weeks later. MPD interviewed Charlie Storley to have him back. It's that kind of incompetence, that merit of killer cop that says they're not doing the work. If you're saying that you're doing anti-racist training to officers that are openly resisting it and then hiring killer cops back on who've already shot Black children and killed their own, even if you had a blue line flag on your front porch, this should concern you. The absolute mediocrity and bottom of the barrel that the MPD is willing to scrape just to put on their employment staff and say, hey, we're fully staffed, is very sad. And the fact that everybody in this city hall turns the other way while Frey does this is even more despicable, because Minnesota relies on dismissiveness and white comfort. And when somebody rattles your cage and you have to do the work a little bit, do the work more than just a little bit, because that's how we got here in the first place. We got here due to dismissiveness, due to killer cops being on the job that should be on desk duty at a bare minimum or off the force, but we keep them on there. How many more Derek Chauvins are on MPD? How many? Like, serious question. You all could answer this at CUAPB. How many more killer cops are on MPD? They couldn't tell you. There are many more Derek Chauvins on the MPD. And let me tell you, the only reason why he cares is because it creates an economic sinkhole in the city, because he has to pay for it. The MPD defunds the city. We don't defund the MPD. The civil lawsuits that they carry out over $100 million, tell me, whose pocket is that? Our pocket. And whose pocket is Frey in? Somebody else's that he wants to make feel comfortable and protect their fragility. So it should come as no surprise that Pam Bondi, who's willing to send an innocent brown man back to El Salvador, a death camp, wants to end the federal consent decree. Trump, who's only interested in his own interests, would put Ashley Babbitt over a police department and then put a police department over a black man. It's no surprise. That comes as no surprise. And we rely upon the work of the people here where Nikema said that consent decree, that federal consent decree is written in blood for people to uphold that. But for this MDHR consent decree and for the press to celebrate that, I don't know which one of you did or if any of you did, but I'm saying get the story straight if you're going to report it, please. Understand that Charlie Storley was attempted to be hired onto this police department. Understand Tyler Timberlake was attempted to be hired onto this police department. Understand that black people are still 9 times more likely than white people to have use of force used upon them. Native people, 13 times. Still think about that before you start reporting the absolute sunshine state that Jake Frey wants to sell you. He is only concerned in his own interest. And I'll rest on this. Frey is a poster boy for the comfort and fragility of neighborhoods whose property values bottom out at $500,000, where restaurateurs can obliterate an entire workforce due to union busting, meanwhile drive a light rail through a black neighborhood bordering on black business owners to shut them down. Tell me, why is that happening? If he's so interested in black communities, Native communities, why is this mayor more interested in his campaign for his upcoming potential reelection than he is for actual black communities? And why is the timing coming right now on the 5-year anniversary of George Floyd that he wants to show up and start posing for things? He only does this now, and he wants to fix George Floyd Square when he has a campaign reelection. This man is only interested in his career. He is a Tim Pawlenty as a mayor. He is a Trump as a mayor. And if you can't see that, please do the work and research to figure out how he is hurting Native and black communities more than helping. Thank you.